Of the asshole-ish variety.
This is one of the most controversial games of all. More violent than Mortal Kombat. More full, repulsive than Doom. It's banned in 14 countries and blacklisted in America. This game does not care. The game is called POSTAL. Could you imagine what is it about? I'm going to hazard an assumption and say this is about the adventures of Santa and Rudolph, the red fucking nosed deer. It's saying all kids, so it should be alright to show forage, I guess. The earth is hungry. It sure sounds like someone is hungry or having intense diarrhea. And why the fuck is the sun trembling around? Is it drunk too? I think I might have had too many Rolling Rocks.
Now you'll never get that train set!
Frick!
Rudolph! 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 Rudolph!
Oh, what is this? Ostriches. Don't tell me you've been roasting them up. What kind of Christmas game allows you to roast ostriches for dinner?
Rudolph! Shake it up, baby. Balls, you don't let it ollie.
How did this game come into existence? It isn't even a game. I mean, it's the only interactivity is
Moving around and shooting people with a tiny gun. Karen just told me this was supposed to be a violent game, and yet I haven't seen a single drip of blood. What the shit?
Hey, guess what? I just realized I recorded this entire video and
Realized I was playing the Santa patch. Makes the game more Christmas friendly, and the Mo Kids mod was turned off. Must have been some con Filson turn. Now they gave me the real script.
back to the video.
Hey, I'm Justin.
Hey everybody, I'm Vince Desi from Running with Scissors, and it's time to go postal.
And this is the creator of this garbage he calls a game.
Just recently returned from E3 where we had a super show.
More like a shit show. Postal came out in 1997. Now, for those of you boomers old enough, I bet you can remember at least 5 important events from that year. That's right, that year I made 5 of them movies.
Let's go in while we've got the lights on, which is not the normal condition.
Not the normal condition. What the fuck does that mean? The day it prefer to work in the dark, like Batman? Also, in the beginning Vince said they were proud of their publisher.
We're proud to say our publisher is Ripcord Games.
Why the fuck did you get proud of a publisher? Unless you take 5 years to find one too. I just showed this previous film to put in context that they were not in the best financial situation during the production of this abomination of a game. The real game is not that much different from the Santa patch, except that there's blue pools, and the enemies leave trails behind when they get down or are wounded. Speaking of blue trails, it really reminds of the film Red Zombie from 1997.
I was 17 years old, and yes, that is ketchup blood. Yes, we used ketchup. And there you go, the most transparent blood you will ever see in a movie.
But wait a minute, that means there's more than 5 movies in 1997. Why did I forget to put Red Zombie on my filmography on the website?
They are the angels of death!
Never mind. The game originally could be played with keyboard controls. But good luck with that if you are used to modern mass control games. Pretty much like other shooters such as Aqua Warriors, who move around the screen in an isometric perspective, shooting the enemies to complete the level. And like those games, throwing grenades is a fucking miserable experience. Maybe that's why they give you so many of them to begin with. You can never tell from the perspective if the bomb is gonna overlap the scenery or ricochet right back at you. There you go. Instead of running to the end of the stage, you must kill a predetermined number of hostile enemies to progress throughout the levels, but you also need to press a specific button to finally move to the next stage. You would normally expect to press enter or escape, mouse or maybe even tab. I think the majority of people never made it past the first stage back in the day because of this. I know I wouldn't. It's F1. The developers are funny about it too, giving an achievement in the Steam version for figuring this hard puzzle solution. Guess the 87% that didn't do it have a BC schedule like me. The controls are kinda awkward because of the camera angle on some stages, making dodging rockets a mind-numbing exercise at some points. Hiss. Fuck. Shit.
Merry Christmas, you
I'm a skeleton. Thankfully, in the easy difficult, the rockets are more bearable, and in the remastered version of the game, they fixed most of the issues I'm bitch about in this review. The game has an execution button, pretty much like fatalities in Mortal Kombat. And like some NES games, it comes with a suicide button.
Mom, I'm coming home for Christmas.
At least it's pretty straightforward about it. Well, let's explain the soundtrack. Normally you play the game and music is on the background of each stage, right? In POSTAL that's partially true. For some levels like the mines there's always this eerie atmospheric song in the background which complements the feeling of claustrophobia. There's the famous parade level, in which a musical group is performing in the street, only for the protagonist to murder them like insects. And then the music stops.
Bug. They never liked you. He's out of there.
Some levels are filled with the sound of the void, and background atmosphere such as dogs or the wind. And then there are specific parts of a level with a sound trigger attached to it, giving each area its own atmosphere inside of the level. They range from white noise to news broadcast, announcing the rampage of the character.
Reports are coming in from local law enforcement agents of a lone gunman on what appears to be a genocidal shooting spree. It is currently unclear as to his motives or whether he has a particular target, except his assaults have been heavily concentrated on members of the police force. Officers are advising the general public to be on high alert and to stay indoors. Stay tuned for more news as the situation develops.
Some sound triggers even complement each other in a symbiotic kind of way, and makes me think that the devs were trying to give hints to mental state of the character throughout the sound clues in the game. It's kinda cool actually. Speaking of mental illness, there's actual soundtracks for the title cards of each level, and they all sound like they came straight from a nightmare. Each level comes with a brief message about murder. Most people theorize those are the voices of the demons inside of the character head. BTW. Postal Redux is fucking awesome. If you are tired of the recent trend of crappy remakes and remastered, try Postal Redux. It improves so much over the original. Improved graphics, new weapons, skull textures, remastered sounds and voice.
That's a boomstick.
Also, an entire new soundtrack for the special Rampage mod. It's a fucking banger.
I don't wanna die!
Wait a minute. Is that a fucking Godzilla reference? Fuck off, game. You know what? I retract what I said in the beginning. The original game is kind of rough around the edges, but the gameplay is solid and feels fun and addicting to play. Some games tried to recreate the shock value from POSTAL by adding rampages and gore elements to it, but some come as out of taste, not fun to play, or puss it out of the gore spec. Red Dead 2 is alright though.
Oh, you're a dumb old bunch, ain't you?
Maybe the asshole Shporty will review it someday. Oh well. They came after me. Because I'm playing fucking POSTAL. Damn fascists. My name is not important. What is important is that Frankenstein is the name of the doctor. I just fucking hate doing video game content and the fucking fans that watch on its carcass. My whole life is just called Bitter Hagrid. And I always wanted to play a band. This is the time of vengeance and no life worth saving. And I will silence as many as I can. It's time for me to kill. And it's time for me to wait. Time. Little cringe genocide skit Dunion's here.
Population pressure and the stress of modern life may cause an increase in violent tendencies. The urban environment is the incubator for all sorts of undesirable behaviors. However much his Revius disturbs us, he may actually consider himself a curator. This is common among those who, in the popular slang, the POSTAL. In his perturbed mind, he may feel that he's battling against impossible odds. It is not unusual for such individuals to believe that the entire fate of the world rests with them. In the end, the subject has displayed all the classic symptoms of paranoid delusions. We may never know exactly what set him off, but rest assured, we will have plenty of time to study him.